In the world of boxing, dominance isn't just about power, it's about legacy. And on September 14th, inside the Aichi International Arena in Nagoya, Japan, two of the best fighters in the world will step into the ring, not just to defend titles, but to chase greatness. Naoya Inoue, the monster, undefeated, uncompromising, unstoppable. Murodjon Akhmadaliev, the silent storm from Uzbekistan, a former unified world champion, now hungry for redemption. This is not just a title defense. This is war between two Olympic-level technicians with knockout power in both hands. It's a battle that Inoue himself calls the biggest test of my career. And when the monster says that, the world listens. This is the story of a fight that might redefine the super bantamweight division. This is your sports trivia hub breakdown. They call him the monster. And for 10 straight years, Naoya Inoue has lived up to that name. But it didn't start in the spotlight. It started in a quiet gym in Japan. A boy with fists like steel and a heart carved from fire. From his early amateur days, people whispered. He's special, they said, but no one truly knew what was coming. No one knew he'd become the most feared fighter below 130 pounds. Inoue didn't climb the ladder. He leapt through it. He won a world title in just his 6th professional fight. That's not supposed to happen. That's not how boxing works. But Inoue isn't a typical fighter. He's a phenomenon. He's not just fast, he's surgical. Not just powerful, he's devastating. When he hits you, it's like being struck by lightning with precision. There's no wild swinging, no desperation, just cold, calculated violence. And over the years, we've seen it again and again. From Omar Narvaez to Juan Carlos Peano to Emmanuel Rodriguez, all crushed. Not by chance, but by design. Inoue doesn't go in a box. He goes in to dismantle. Every shot is meant to end a fight. Every combination is meant to send a message. And the message is always the same. You don't belong in here with me. He's the kind of fighter who doesn't need hype. The gloves do the talking. He unified the bantamweight division with terrifying efficiency. 3-division champ? Done. Undisputed? Done. Next? He didn't need to fight at 122. He could have stayed king where he was. But that's not how greatness thinks. Greatness isn't satisfied. Greatness needs risk. So he moved up, fought Stephen Fulton, a slick, undefeated American technician. Everyone said Fulton was different, that his style would frustrate Inoue. They were wrong. Inoue made him look like a regional fighter. Speed? Nullified. Defense? Pierced. Strategy? Broken. Fulton was stunned. So was the world. But Inoue wasn't. He knew what he was capable of. And then came Marlon Topoles, the unified champ. Tough. Gritty. Durable. But Inoue shattered him too. He didn't just beat him. He walked him down and stripped his soul. That night, the 122-pound division changed forever. And Inoue stood alone. Undisputed. Unchallenged. Unstoppable. Until now. Because standing in the shadows was a name many thought had been forgotten. Murodjon Akhmadaliev. The man who once held 2 of those belts. The man who many believed would be Inoue's true rival. But fate had other plans. Akhmadaliev lost a controversial decision to Topoles. And just like that, the collision course between Inoue and MJ was derailed. Until now, because MJ fought his way back. And Inoue, he's calling this fight, this moment, his greatest challenge yet. Let that sink in. Inoue has fought Donaire, fought Fulton, fought Topoles, fought Rodriguez. But he's saying MJ is his peak test. That tells you everything. Inoue is not underestimating this. He knows MJ isn't coming to survive. He's coming to win. And Inoue respects that. Because real warriors recognize real threats. This is not a payday. This is not a farewell tour. This is war. and Inoue is treating it that way. He's back in camp, grinding, bleeding, perfecting every weapon, because he knows MJ is dangerous. He knows this won't be a walk in the park. He remembers being dropped twice now in recent fights. Once against Donaire, once against Cardenas. And against Cardenas, things got real. For a moment, the crowd was stunned. The monster on the floor, but he got up. He reset, and he reminded everyone why he's feared. That's the kind of resilience legends are made of. That's the kind of grit you don't teach, it's born. Inoue's greatness isn't just in his fists. It's in his mind, his heart, his will to rise. And that's why he's special. That's why he's already a lock for the Hall of Fame. But this fight is different. Because Akhmadaliev is no paper challenger. He's a former unified champ with knockout power and Olympic pedigree. And Inoue knows it. That's why he's taking this so seriously. That's why, despite all he's achieved, he still trains like a contender. Because the monster hasn't had enough. He wants more risk, more glory, more history. He wants to go down as not just the best Japanese fighter of all time, but one of the best to ever lace gloves anywhere, ever. That's what this fight means to him. And that's why September 14th matters. Not just to Inoue, not just to MJ, but to boxing. Because when Inoue steps into the ring in Nagoya, he's not just defending belts. He's defending a legacy that's still being written in fire. Murodjon Akhmadaliev knows what it feels like to fall. He knows the silence of a locker room after a close loss. He knows the sting of a split decision, the kind that haunts you in the dark. And he knows the pain of watching someone else take your place. Once he was the king, unified champion at 122 pounds. Undefeated, untouched, underrated. He didn't need to talk trash. He didn't need to posture or chase cameras. He let his hands speak for him. And for a while, they said everything. He beat Danny Roman in just his 8th fight. That one shook the sport. Roman was elite, respected, skilled. But MJ outboxed him, outsmarted him, outfought him. That night, a star was born. The Uzbek southpaw with cold eyes and colder fists. Akhmadaliev was methodical. He didn't rush. He didn't panic. He picked opponents apart like a surgeon. And he built a reputation, quiet but deadly. The boxing world took notice. Hardcore fans whispered, "This guy's the truth." But then came Topoles, April 2023, a night that wasn't supposed to go wrong. MJ was favored. He had momentum. He had form. But something was off. His rhythm, his output, his sharpness. Maybe it was the pressure. Maybe it was just one of those nights. Topoles fought with everything. And the judges? They saw it his way. Split decision. New champion. Just like that, the belts were gone. The spotlight faded. The narrative shifted. Inoue was suddenly the king of 122. Topoles' prey. And MJ? Just a detour. Forgotten by some. Dismissed by others. But not by himself. Because warriors don't let one loss define them. Akhmadaliev went back to the drawing board. He trained harder, smarter, hungrier. He didn't complain, didn't post excuses. He just put his head down and started hunting again. 3 fights, 3 knockouts, 3 reminders that he's not done, that he's not finished, that he's not a side note in Inoue's story. He's a rival, a real one, and now he gets a shot, not because of politics, not because of hype, but because he earned it, step by brutal step. He's not scared of Inoue. He respects him, but he's not here to clap hands and swap jerseys. He's here to take what he believes is still his. MJ is cold in the ring, calculated. He fights like a chess player who happens to punch like a wrecking ball. He doesn't waste movement, doesn't waste time. And when he sees weakness, he strikes. That's what makes this fight terrifying. Because Inoue brings fire. But MJ, he brings ice. He's not rattled, not awed by the moment, not bothered by the crowd in Nagoya. He's fought under pressure before, in foreign countries, in enemy territory, and he's never crumbled. Not once. That kind of composure is rare. It's dangerous. It makes him unpredictable, and it makes him lethal in deep waters. He knows Inoue will come hard, fast, explosive, but MJ's training for that. He's sparring faster men, studying angles, sharpening his counter shots, because he believes Inoue can be hurt. He saw the knockdowns, against Donaire, against Cardenas. He knows there are cracks, tiny ones, but cracks all the same. And if he can exploit them, he can shock the world. He's visualizing it. That perfect southpaw left. The one Inoue doesn't see. The one that drops him. The one that silences the crowd. That's what drives him. Not fame, not fortune, but redemption. To show that he was never a placeholder, never a fluke, never a footnote. He wants to reclaim his throne, not just with a win, but with a statement. And if he pulls it off, he flips the entire division upside down. He reclaims his legacy. He erases the Tapala's loss. He becomes the man who tamed the monster. That kind of opportunity doesn't come twice. And Akhmadaliev knows it. That's why he's all in. No hesitation, no fear, only focus, only fire, only one goal, win. And if he does, the world will remember his name. Forever. This fight isn't just power versus power. It's not just experience versus hunger. This is fire against ice. Two very different elements. Two very different energies. One explosive, one controlled. One chaotic, one methodical. But both equally lethal. Naoya Inoue fights like a lightning storm. Fast, unforgiving, unpredictable. He doesn't warm up. He detonates. For the first bell, he's already inside your space. Already measuring you. Already looking to finish. His footwork is a weapon. His jab is a disguise. His combinations come like rapid bursts, not just to score, but to destroy. He's a rhythm breaker, a tempo wrecker. He changes levels like a code you can't crack. And when you think you're out of range, you're not. That's where he kills you. Because his timing is elite. His sense of distance? Surgical. He hits the liver like it owes him money. And once you show weakness, any weakness, he feasts. That's fire. That's how he burned through Fulton, Tapales, Donaire, and Cardenas. But across from him is a cold, calculated counter. Murodjon Akhmadaliev doesn't come in a brawl. He comes in to dissect. Every round for MJ is data collection. Every movement is a message. He rarely rushes. He rarely misses. His punches aren't wild. They're clean, compact, efficient. While Inoue tries to overwhelm you, MJ tries to unbuild you. Bit by bit, he works behind the right jab. Not to keep you away, but to control your options. Then he counters, always with intent, always with patience. He's the type of fighter who makes you doubt your plan. He slows fights down on purpose. He wants to pull you into the quiet, the uncomfortable space, where mistakes echo. And that's where this fight gets dangerous for both men. Inoue's style depends on momentum. If MJ stalls that, if he cuts angles, if he times the blitzes, it could change everything. But if MJ takes too long to adapt, if he lets Inoue set the rhythm, it could be over fast. Because Inoue doesn't need 12 rounds. He doesn't need 6. He just needs an opening. One. And if it comes early, MJ won't have the luxury of adjustment. So how do you fight a monster? MJ's answer: calm the storm. Use feints. Disrupt the pattern. Stick and pivot. Make Inoue miss, then punish. Because Inoue hates resetting. He thrives in chaos. MJ wants control, stillness. But Inoue never stays still. He weaves, dips, launches. And you can't predict where the punch is coming from. Head, body, straight, hook. By the time you answer, you're already down. So MJ needs more than defense. He needs interruption. He needs to make Inoue hesitate. Just once. Because hesitation is death for a pressure fighter. And Akhmadaliev knows it. He's fought pressure. He's dealt with volume. And he's cracked open aggressive opponents. But he's never faced someone like this. Not with this combination of speed and cruelty. That's what Inoue brings. Precision wrapped in violence. He doesn't waste anything. And MJ, he's about economy. Maximum effect. Minimum exposure. It's a chess match with knives. And the question is, who dictates the pace? Can Inoue walk MJ down? Or will MJ turn him? Make him chase? Drain his legs? Will MJ's southpaw stance create openings? Or will it feed Inoue's left hook? It's a fight full of questions, full of traps. Both men are intelligent. Both men know the stakes. And both are willing to risk it all for glory. That's what makes this a super fight. Not hype, but substance. It's not style versus style. It's belief versus belief. Inoue believes in pressure, in touch, in pain. MJ believes in timing, in space, in control. Both want to impose their truth, but only one will. And on September 14th, we'll see which element prevails. Will the fire burn through the ice? Or will the ice cool the flames? Only the ring will answer. And it won't whisper. It will scream. This fight isn't just about titles. It's not just about the belts that shimmer under the arena lights. Not just about WBA, IBF, or Ring Magazine recognition. Those matter. Of course they do. But not as much as what's really on the line. Legacy. Immortality. The kind of greatness that outlives careers, outlives critics, outlives the fighters themselves. For Naoya Inoue, this fight is about more than staying unbeaten. It's about finishing a chapter he was never supposed to skip. A chapter named Murodjon Akhmadaliev. 2 years ago, boxing fans wanted this fight. It was the perfect collision. Two champions on parallel paths. But the fight never happened. Timing, politics, circumstance. Instead, Inoue moved forward. MJ took a step back. And now, fate brings them together. Not in their primes, but close enough to matter. Close enough to settle the score that never was. Inoue has conquered every mountain placed in front of him. He's beaten champions in their backyards. He's unified divisions. He's already made history in Japan. But this fight, this is about silence. About silencing that one doubt that lingers. That maybe, just maybe, he avoided the hardest path. Inoue doesn't run. He doesn't hide. That's why he took this fight. Because true greatness doesn't skip pages. It writes the whole book. And MJ, he's not here to be a stepping stone. He's here to take back everything. He lost his titles by inches, by judges, not by knockout, not by domination. He still believes he's the best, and this is his chance to prove it. He doesn't want sympathy. He wants justice. He wants his belts back. But more than that, he wants his name back. Because when people talk about the elite at 122, they talk about Inoue. They talk about Topoles. They talk about the future, David Picasso, Sam Goodman. But they forgot MJ. He hasn't. Every morning, he wakes up with that decision in his mind. That loss replaying like a film. Every punch he throws now is fueled by that pain. By that mission. To show the world he never left. To show the world that in no way is human. That the monster can bleed. And if he wins, everything changes. The narrative shifts. Inoue becomes vulnerable, beatable, and MJ becomes a two-time unified champion. The only man to ever stop Naoya Inoue. That would be history. That would be legacy. That would be immortality. And both men know it. That's why the tension in this fight is suffocating. Not just in the ring, but in the build-up. The media, the gyms, the fans. Everyone feels it. Because this isn't a fight that ends when the bell rings. It echoes. For years, every punch will matter. Every round will matter. Because this fight will define careers, define eras. Boxing is full of good fighters, even great ones. But legends? They're rare. They rise in moments like this, when the pressure is unbearable, when the expectations are crushing, and still, they perform. That's what makes fights like this different. It's not entertainment. It's a legacy transaction. Both men are risking everything. For Inoue, a loss means more than a blemish. It shatters a myth. And for MJ, a win resurrects him, reboots his future, puts it back on top. This is legacy warfare. This is generational validation. And that's why both fighters will give everything. Their blood, their sweat, maybe even their careers. Because when you fight for legacy, you don't tap gloves and go home satisfied. You fight until there's nothing left, until the soul of the other man is broken. That's what this fight demands. That's what this moment demands. That's what makes it unforgettable. And on September 14th, in the heart of Nagoya, only one man will walk out with that legacy intact. The other will carry the weight of what could have been. Forever. Every great battle leaves a scar. But what comes after the bloodshed? What happens when the final bell rings? When the lights fade and the noise dies? What remains is the future. And for the winner of Inoue versus Akhmadaliev, that future is already written in fire. Because this war isn't the end, it's a passage. A gateway to the next proving ground. And that proving ground is Saudi Arabia, the desert, the oil-rich kingdom that's now become a mecca for mega fights. It's not just about spectacle anymore. It's about redefining boxing stage. On December 27th, Riyadh is expected to host one of the most culturally explosive matchups the sport has seen in years. Japan versus Mexico. If Inoue wins, and if David Picasso defeats Kyonosuke Kimita on July 19, they meet at the summit. A clash between the Japanese executioner and the Mexican finale. A collision of national pride. A torchbearer versus a torch snatcher. And that fight would shake boxing. Inoue would walk into Saudi Arabia as a conquering warrior, a global icon, but not invincible, not untouchable, because Picasso is different. Younger, longer, unorthodox, unbothered by pressure. He represents the next generation, the fighter raised on speed, angles, and risk. And he wants to be the man who wins the Inoue era. He's already said it. He's gunning for the monster. But here's the problem. If Inoue doesn't get past Akhmadaliev, none of that matters. Saudi Arabia disappears. The narrative dies. Because MJ has no plans of being a stepping stone. He knows the business wants Inoue versus Picasso. But he's not here to fulfill dreams. He's here to detonate them. Imagine if he wins. Imagine if Akhmadaliev walks into Saudi Arabia instead. From discarded to headliner. From nearly forgotten to main event status. That arc alone would break headlines. MJ versus Picasso becomes a chess match. A battle of technicians. A contrast of worlds. Uzbekistan versus Mexico. And boxing thrives on contrasts. No matter who wins on September 14th, the victor becomes the face of the 122-pound division. The division that, for years, lacked visibility. But now, it's lit, exploding with opportunity. Because behind Inoue and MJ lies a rising tide. David Picasso, Sam Goodman, Stephen Fulton, possibly returning. And dark horses from the US, Philippines, and UK. Everyone wants a shot at the throne. But only one man can sit there. And the winner in Nagoya gets first claim. But beyond the sport, beyond the rankings, beyond the titles, lies something bigger. For Inoue, it's global transcendence. He's already a Japanese legend. But beating MJ and then beating Picasso, that takes him from legend to myth. From great to immortal. That's Mayweather territory. That's Pacquiao air. He becomes not just the best in Japan, not just the best at 122, but one of the greatest of all time. That's the mountain Inoue wants to climb. And it starts with surviving Akhmadaliev. But for MJ, it's resurrection. It's vindication. It's everything. He doesn't just want the belt. He wants the story. He wants to rewrite the past. Make people forget the Top Hala's loss ever happened. Make people remember what he was and still is. A disciplined, dangerous, ruthless southpaw with gold in his veins. And if he wins, he goes to Saudi Arabia with something to prove and something to gain. Money, respect, and a permanent place in boxing history. But if he loses, he fades again, at least for now. And that's why this fight is so intense. Because it's not just about the night. It's about the aftermath. Who walks into 2026 as king? Who headlines the desert supercards? Who inspires the next wave of fighters? And who gets remembered? Because boxing is cruel. It forgets losers quickly. One mistake and the world moves on. But when? And you're frozen in time. Statues, documentaries, Hall of Fame speeches. That's what's waiting. That's what's on the table. And it all depends on one night in Nagoya. 12 rounds. One winner. A passport to Saudi Arabia. To immortality. To boxing's next golden chapter. And that next chapter begins with a name. Inoue or Akhmadaliev. Only the ring will decide. The lights will dim. The ring will shine beneath the flood of camera flashes. And the crowd in Nagoya will rise. Two men will enter the squared circle. But only one will leave it as something more. One will walk out with belts. The other, with questions. It's always like this in boxing. Two legacies walk in. One survives. One evolves. And the other? It waits, hoping for another chance. Naoya Inoue is fighting more than just Murodjon Akhmadaliev. He's fighting expectation. He's fighting the weight of a nation. Of a legacy built punch by punch, round by round, knockout by knockout. And with every step toward the ring, he carries that pressure, that burden, that belief. Because when you're the monster, you're not allowed to look human. But Akhmadaliev, he has nothing to lose. And that makes him dangerous. He's already been doubted, already been dismissed. And now, he has the perfect opportunity to flip the story. To remind the world that he was once the king. And maybe he still is. He won't be afraid. He won't be intimidated by the lights, or the hype, or the monster across from him. Because deep inside, MJ believes this is destiny. His second shot, his real shot. And he's ready. When the bell rings, everything will fade. The crowd noise, the broadcast, the predictions. It'll be just two men, two hearts, two stories, colliding in violence. One pushing forward with relentless fire, the other standing firm with cold calculation. Every punch will echo. Every dodge will matter. One mistake could end it. One moment could define it. And as the rounds go by, as the sweat drips, as the blood flows, the truth will rise. Who wants it more? Who trained harder? Who believed deeper? There's no hiding in the ring. No shortcuts. No second takes. Only consequences. If Inoue wins, the world gets what it wants. The monster continues. The dream match with Picasso becomes real. History stays intact. The unbeaten run lives. The aura remains. But if MJ wins, everything changes. The world blinks. Shocked, excited, awakened. The forgotten man becomes the new emperor. The fire is extinguished by ice. And that's what makes this fight so magnetic, so beautiful, so terrifying. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's the best kind of fight. The one that could flip boxing upside down. The one where either man can walk away as the hero or the humbled. And when the final bell rings, when the ref raises one arm, the crowd will roar or gasp, and both fighters will feel something deeper than victory or defeat. They will feel the weight of the moment, the weight of legacy, and for the rest of their lives, they'll replay it. That one punch, that one slip, that one roar of the crowd. Because moments like this, they don't fade. They become legend. They become myth. They become everything fighters dream about in the dark. Lonely hours of training. Inoue and Akhmadaliev aren't just fighting each other. They're fighting time, memory, history. One of them will be remembered as the greatest. The other will still be great, but not the greatest. And sometimes that's the hardest truth to swallow. Because the line between the two is razor thin. But in the end, only one name will be shouted. Only one anthem will play. Only one legacy will burn brighter. And only one man will walk away. A legend.